Hi everybody, my name's David Soden and I'm a voice teacher in Brisbane, Australia, and what I'm here to talk about is vocal training, singing lessons. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube and on the net that's really great, very insightful, and there's some other stuff that I find a bit obscure and some even very dangerous. But what I'm here to talk about is training process, choosing it, and more so selecting a teacher and understanding what you need out of a lesson. One of the things that I find people are looking for when they come to into lessons is that they want to sound better and they want to be able to hit the notes. That's just basically what they want to do. They just want to be more confident with their voice. And confidence comes from competence, knowing how to use your voice. So most of the requests that and desires that people want as singers is not sort of about the repertoire and about the style and things like that. It's more so about how to use their voice and the technique, and that makes you more confident in as singers. The problem is that a lot of singers will choose teachers based on the fact that they're good singers themselves. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be great teachers. Secondly, they might base it on the students that they have, that they're great singers themselves, and that they're famous. But this doesn't mean that that teacher actually got them there themselves. It just might be they connected with that person, and it might be just a lot of it down to pure natural talent. Another thing is credentials and degrees and knowing how the voice works. They're really good, they're helpful, but there's certain things that they don't guarantee, and that's what we'll talk about a bit more. When it comes to great singers teaching singing, what they're trying to do is explain to you how they do what they do. There's a great story I heard about Chaka Khan. She went to a vocal camp in America. She performed, and then the audience asked her questions about her voice and her singing. And one person said, "How do you go about your high notes?" And Chaka Khan, her reply was, "To me the high notes are purple," which I think is a great description of how she feels about those high notes and what she's trying to recreate in her own mind. But imagine if you came into a lesson and I said to you, "Sing purple." It just wouldn't make any sense to you. And there's a lot of cliches, like, for example, some singing teachers understand this. Sing from your diaphragm, support your tone, sing into the mask, project your voice. Those things are really describing a sensation more than anything, and not really giving you a practical way of experiencing them. It's just like me saying "sing purple" to you. If you came in and I said "support it," it's like, well, what do I support? The thing is you feel your voice, and you need a sensation to be able to get the right coordination. Another problem that there is behind having people who understand how the voice works, they describe the voice as if you can see it working. When they understand how the chords work, they understand the position of the larynx, all those sorts of things. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to convey something that you understand. Why? Because you can't see your voice. You only feel it. You can't see it working. So their descriptions are really the problem. And there are actually 4 stages to learning. You may have heard these before, but the first stage is unconscious incompetence. That means you don't know there's something wrong, that you can't do it right, and that's why you're going to get lessons to begin with. You're not even sure what it is. When you come into a lesson, you are then you should have an explanation of what you're doing wrong, and that is conscious incompetence. That means you're made aware of the problem. But then as soon as possible, you've got to get onto conscious competence. That is getting the correct sensation to correct the problem. And then once you understand what that is, you can consciously do it over and over again. You want to be able to practice that, go back there, and then it becomes unconscious competence. That means you're not thinking about your technique when you go to perform. You get up, you sing a song, you connect with your audience. The problem is that a lot of teachers don't really get those middle points down right, step 2 and 3. They can tell you what's wrong, and they can say, do it right. And they'll describe a feeling to you. It's like this. But a feeling, like Chaka Khan says, it's purple. To me, it's something different. But my feeling might be described differently to the way you feel it. So you need a practical exercise. You need a practical way of being able to get to the right coordination. Then you need to understand what it is. I heard of a very experienced teacher doing a lesson that was being evaluated on it, and at the end of the lesson, chose all the right exercises. The student sounded very, very good, and then the student said at the end of the lesson, "So why did we do all those exercises?" Didn't know what the purpose of it was, what they were trying to correct. So is that student leaving conscious about what they're supposed to be doing? No, they're not. So there's some of the problems that voice teachers have. They don't have a fifth element, which is reflective competence, knowing all those stages. If they do it naturally, they might not have ever gone through the difficulties, and they're trying to describe a feeling, or a coordination, and you don't understand. Unless they give you a way of finding that, then it's not going to make any sense to you. If you start questioning, sometimes you can be made to feel like, well, I'm the expert, you should be listening to me. But you're the one that's paying the money for the hour or the half hour, so they're working for you. And you should be able to leave that lesson knowing what the problem was, knowing what the exercise and the coordination is to correct it, and being able to reproduce it yourself so you can practice and it can become natural to you. So there's some of the things that you've got to consider when you select a teacher or select a training process, is understanding what your voice needs and what you need to get out of it so you can get some value from it. And there's nothing wrong with asking teachers these questions. If they are offended or upset or uncertain about answering those questions, then maybe they're not the teacher for you. But I hope this has been helpful. Hope to put some more videos up here soon, and if you'd like to leave some comments, I'd like to be able to maybe answer some of them in the future. And I really appreciate you listening, and we hope to see you again soon. Thanks for that.